It was the first time in history that Egypt reached the semi-finals, which made me so proud because I worked so hard on myself. You have no idea. It started in my hands, the vitiligo to show. It was in my face, and I used to cover it really well because I'm a professional makeup artist. Guess what happened? I opened the Instagram 4 months later, and I saw his wedding photo.
No.
I left Egypt and came to Dubai after a huge heartbreak.
Oh.
A huge heartbreak.
Oh.
And I wasn't ready to talk about it, but now I'm so ready to talk about it. You're single, I'm single, and ready to mingle. Or the restaurant with a beautiful girl that everyone turns head to look at, and you're taking him because you want this and that. So self-love and self-confidence is something that is buildable. You build every day. If you walk in a room, you can tell from the aura of this person if they love themselves or they are self-anxious and waiting for someone to validate them.
Hello and welcome back to the show. If you're new here, I'm Sheen, your host, and today we're joined by the incredible Logina Salah. So I can't even begin to explain who she is because she's so cool. And the moment she walked in, she has a striking presence, beautiful, but also very confident and sweet. She was the first ever contestant of Miss Universe with vitiligo. She was also the first Egyptian to make it to the semi-finals of Miss Universe. And now she's a model, she's a speaker, and she's a single mother and a lot more. And we're here today to learn a lot more about her. Hello, Logina. Welcome.
Hi, Sheena. What a beautiful introduction.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good, thank you. So tell us, what is life like today? You're in Dubai. What are you focused on at the moment?
I'm now focused on public speaking. This is one of the main things I'm focused on. Beside my content, and I explored being a model 2 years ago, despite some people telling me that it's too late. People start modeling when they are 13. But I insisted on that, and I started modeling 2 years ago, and now I do different things, and now I'm exploring having my own brand.
Wow, very cool. But going back to what you're known for, being part of Miss Universe.
Yeah, right.
Tell us, how was that?
It was incredible because pageantry has always been in a mold, the mold of a young girl. She's not married before, or she doesn't have kids. And for us to break this barrier and just prove to everyone that you can be anything at any age, especially women, it's incredible. It's amazing. So I was asked 2 years ago to come and join Miss Universe Egypt as a judge. And I said, if I'm going to join as a contestant, I'm joining. If I'm not joining, I'm not joining at all. And then, okay, you're not eligible because apparently I was 33 back then, and I'm a single mother. So I wasn't eligible to join. And then I waited for 2 years till they removed all the restrictions, and then I joined. I felt like the world is ready to see me as a thriving mother, a thriving entrepreneur, a girl who came from a small town, which is Alexandria, but she's very ready to show the world what she got. And we did it. It was the first time in history that Egypt reached the semi-finals, which made me so proud because I worked so hard on myself. You have no idea. Because we don't come from a pageantry background, or we're not a powerhouse like Philippines or Thailand. Those girls are very lucky to have the best coaches, the best sponsors. But for us, we do it all on our own. I had to fly all the way to Philippines to train, and I had to have a Filipino designer to do my national costume, which required so much back and forth. I came from Philippines, I remember, with a big box of my national costume. And then I traveled with it to Mexico as well. I traveled with 5 luggages. It was very challenging, but I love challenges because this is how you grow out of your comfort zone.
Well, I have so many questions.
Yay.
So, initially, I love what you said, that when they came to you as a judge, you said, no, I want to be a participant. And the funny thing, the irony is that you waited 2 years when you were older, then you were actually able to go in when in the first instance you were already too old to come in.
Exactly.
But where did that confidence come from that I want to enter this?
I've been exploring and thinking, why me in this situation of having this skin condition that is appearing on me? I cannot hide it. And I started talking to God 2 years ago. It's like, I have to find my way. And finding my way is by inspiring others. So it's a big part of my job. I'm not only a content creator. I love content creation, but I'm there on social media for a higher purpose. Is to be a role model for the lost girls, because we were all lost in our teens, having hair on our body or having a different color, darker skin, for example. This is all a stereotype, and in 2025, this has to be gone, And how is this? How can this be gone? Is by changing the narrative. So there are some people there to change the narrative. I'm there to inspire others and inspire especially young girls who are very lost. So I'm happy with that. So I explore. I'm always thinking and meditating and exploring. Why am I like that? And I finally found the reason why.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful and wholesome. And honestly, final thing I'm going to ask, because as we were discussing before, I think you're so much more than your skin condition. But at what point did the switch happen for you that this is not something for you to be ashamed of? And, beauty doesn't need to be a certain way. We're all very different, uniquely so, and that's beautiful. At what point did you find the way to love the way you look?
Okay, so self-love and self-confidence is something that is buildable. You build every day. People think when they see someone confident, or they see someone who is expressing themselves or showing who they are, that they are born this way, or it happened overnight, which is not the case. It's something that you decide on doing every day. So I was a makeup artist back then. And it started in my hands, the vitiligo to show. It was in my face. And I used to cover it really well because I'm a professional makeup artist. If you see the photos, you will not believe I had anything. And when it started appearing on my hands, I felt anxious. What will the brides decide? Will they book with me? A makeup artist should be the sign of beauty, and I'm no longer the sign of beauty. I was very anxious to lose my job because this is where my income was from. So apparently I was sitting with another makeup artist. She's my friend. And she said, you have to go out and I'm sure people will love you the way you are. So I started, she gave me a book for self-acceptance. And I started learning how to love yourself, how to accept yourself, because it's an expression that everyone uses, but it's a practice that you do and you decide every day. And I started reading the books. And then one day I had a master class that had 60 students and the model didn't show up. And guess what the lesson was about? It was about scar camouflage. And then backstage, I was frantic, crying. What am I going to do? The model, she had an accident. She didn't show up. What happened? And then my assistant told me, I think it's time to go out and show them your face. It's time. Believe me, this is a message from God. And this is what I did. I'm Logina. I'm the model today. And this is the scar camouflage. And if you feel like leaving, it's up to you. And then everyone jaw dropped, of course, because you're seeing someone that
they had never seen you this way.
Yeah, that looks completely different. And then 2 minutes and everyone started clapping. This is a gift from God that if you accept your fate, and if you accept what I give you, you are blessed, and I'm going to let people see you differently. I didn't change. I'm the same person. But what's changed is the people's perspective towards me and how I see myself. If you walk in a room, you can tell from the aura of this person if they love themselves or they are self-anxious and waiting for someone to validate them so they can sit and relax. And by me accepting myself, I make the other person that is trying to pull me down, because you will find people like that.
Of course, everywhere.
You make them powerless. You take their power. You steal their power over you. Because if your words, if you compliment me, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. But if you didn't, my life is going to be the same. And if you told me something that is like bad or trying to pull me down or trying to take my spirit down, I tell you, this is your opinion and it never affects me. This is where you reach your confidence and how to love yourself, is to be your own best friend, to know your value, whether you have this bag or not, whether you have this status or not, whether you have this job or not, whether you have this body or not. This is because you're not going to have this bag for the rest of your life. It's not guaranteed. You're not going to be that famous. That's not guaranteed. You're not going to be that young. Not guaranteed. But you have to love yourself and be your own best friend in every stage in your life. This is how you let any negativity doesn't have the power over you.
That's so beautiful. And you know, what they say is that you need to be so confident, as you said, and you have a good relationship with yourself where you don't depend on the good comments and you don't depend on the bad comments either to feel either way. Because as long as good compliments affect you and make you happy, the bad compliment will also affect you. So that's why being aware of who you are and being content in that way is amazing. And I like how you said when you see someone walk in, you can tell whether they're confident or not. And I agree. And I think that's also a little bit of empaths have that, right? You can already read someone and you're like, oh, okay, I can see how you feel.
Yeah.
But you can build that over time. And I think that's incredible. But how was your experience now that you're talking about people being nice and people not being nice to you? How was it when you were actually part of Miss Universe? Because we all hear about how pageantries can be really tough and competitive. How was your experience? Hey dreamers, quick pause from the convo. If you are wondering what the Dreamers Digest is, it's my exclusive online community where I share behind the scenes goodies, lessons from building this podcast, and all the juicy stuff that never makes it to the final cut. If you're not in it yet, check the link in the show notes and come join us. It's 100% free. Also, shocking fact, 89% of you watching this on YouTube right now are not even subscribed. Wild, right? So if that's you, go ahead and hit that button. It would mean the world to me. And now, super exciting news. We launched the Podcast Academy. This is where I've poured everything I've learned from taking this show to 150 million views and turning it into a real business. It's 10 powerful modules packed with tools to help you launch, grow, and actually monetize your podcast. You'll even get the chance to submit your episode for personal feedback from me and my team. If you've been thinking about starting a show or scaling the one you already have, this is your sign. Click the link in the description box below to learn more. Now, back to the episode.
It was, at first, nobody noticed me. Like, she's Miss Egypt. There are powerhouses in the pageantry where they take the whole spotlight and the reporters are so eager to see, for example, Miss Philippines, Miss Thailand, Miss Thailand, Miss Brazil, Miss Colombia, because those countries where always queens come from,
right?
But I was not noticed in the beginning, like I was just another number. And then when they started noticing that I'm getting the attention from the press, from the magazines. I was trending in Colombia, in Venezuela, in USA, because people, they want to see a mother with stretch marks, for example. Yes. They want to see people that looks like them, not always size 0. This has to be gone. Really, it has to be gone. If somebody can be size 0, but if I'm size 10, I'm still beautiful. You know, if I'm size 20, I'm still beautiful. It doesn't shape who I am. You understand what I mean? So I was just another number. And then when I started working on myself, doing amazing looks, I was really rocking in the interview. I got very good comments from the judges. Then they started noticing me. Then we started going back on the pageantry map. And then the final days, everyone was holding the Egyptian flag. And it made me feel so happy and proud, not only to inspire the Egyptian young women, but to inspire the world that I'm an Arabic woman, which is, it can create a stereotype. I'm a Muslim woman, which can make a stereotype. I'm a vitiligo woman, which can make us. I'm a single mother, and the list goes on. You have no idea
how many did you break?
How many did you break now? I was coming from a town. I lived in Alexandria all my life. When I moved to Dubai, English was challenging for me. I challenged myself in every single way. I was only with my daughter here alone. I lived very tough days of my life. But it makes you who you are. This is what I always tell my daughter. Out of your comfort zone, you're going to find yourself and respect yourself more. In your comfort zone, that's a good day. That's good to live. But you have to get out of there to create this relationship of respect and growth with yourself. Because how do you respect yourself? Is by getting out of something that was unfavorable. By yourself, by your strength. Like if I'm your friend and I got your back, imagine if you got yourselves back. This is very powerful.
Wow, yeah, absolutely. And while you were talking, I was just remembering, the first time I saw you ever online was when you got nominated for the semi-finals of Miss Universe.
Oh.
And I remember the pure joy in your face and the shock. And I remember thinking, wow, that's incredible. And even now, when I was doing research for the episode, I went to find that clip again. And I remember the moment I saw it, because I'm not Arab, but I still felt so proud that, someone like you, who is very different from everyone else, is now making it. But what was the feelings like in that moment? We're talking about all the hardship, but I want to hear about the happiness as well. What was that like?
I was very happy, and people were screaming. That made me even happier, because I felt like, oh, okay, let me just do my best, and this is enough. This is what I tell my daughter always. Do your best. Let me see you studying and doing your best in everything, and the result is not yours. We forget about the result. I'm not going to tell you anything about the result, but I have to see you doing everything that you can. I did everything that I can. So when they said the 11th woman, I still remember it as if it was yesterday. To reach the semifinals I was like, my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
You saw the
Your
clip?
reaction was pure shock.
I was like pure, because everyone told me that if you're not coming from a strong country, the people are not cheering for you enough. So,
you won't make
votes.
It. Yeah.
It has a part of the judges, but it has parts votes. I was a bit, anxious about the votes, and if people will cheer up for me, and what about my country? Do they know I'm there? I used to call my sister and my friends. Do people know I'm here? Because do they know where I am? So it was pure joy, and I will never ever forget that in my life. That I challenged myself at this age. I'm not young. I'm always young, but
always.
I'm 35.
Wow, mashallah.
Which is an age of. And I heard bad comments from some people, like she's 35, and Egyptian people, unfortunately. But I never stop there. This is their lens through life. It doesn't describe me, and it doesn't describe who I am or what I do. It describes how they limit themselves by age or by an idea, or you have. I always tell my mother that when I learned some things in life, I had to unlearn some things in life as well, because not every thing that the society says you have to believe it. Because if you believed every comment about yourself, you wouldn't have been where you are today.
Yeah. And if you think about, a lot of times we carry beliefs with us and we don't even know where it comes from. It might not even be what we want. It's just what the society or the culture has told us is right, and we just carry it with us.
And it creates emotional baggage. You're carrying a heavy bag of a belief that doesn't serve you, but you have to keep carrying it.
It's not even your bag to carry.
The moment you unlearn it is the moment you decide to throw that bag and set yourself free from that idea. And I'm like, wow, nothing happened. I'm still the same person when I unlearned, for example, this or that. Because everybody told me you cannot model. You're too old to be a model. And I'm like, okay, let me see. Thank you so much for your opinion.
For your feedback.
I'm going to the runway now.
But that's cool that I just want to know, is that how you feel all the time though? Do you always feel like this? Like whenever you face people pushing against what you want to do or people really bringing you down and telling you this is not possible, are you always this strongly confident in the fact that I can do it even if people are telling me?
No.
Right?
Sometimes I have self-doubt moments. Sometimes I'm PMSing. Sometimes I'm skeptical because I now, as a single mother, I lead the boat. So when you lead a boat, you have to be careful because I have my daughter with me. So every decision I take or every step I make, she's with me. So I'm always reconsidering what I do. I'm thinking about it. But I learned something when I traveled to Nepal. I learned that there are around 60,000 thoughts that comes to your mind every day. You have to pick some little, but you have to drop the rest. If it's not serving you, just drop it. Because sometimes, 95% of the times, it's not going to harm us. Nothing is going to happen, but just your thoughts that creates this, devils around you and the bad feelings and what if, and it's just to take you down. So you have to drop any thought that is not serving you and keep going. This is what I learned.
Mm-hmm. And whenever we overthink and we think about all the ways something could go wrong, we suffer twice, right?
Exactly.
Because if it actually happens, you've suffered in your head once and you suffer when it happens. But if it doesn't happen, you've already suffered in your head.
Yes, right.
So what's the point?
Yeah.
But now you've mentioned being a single mother many times, and I can see that this is a huge part of your life. Based on your life experiences, how are you raising a strong, independent woman now?
Okay, so I take her slowly, I don't want to create an idea in her head that she's made of steel, you're made of iron. No, we're made of, we're human. Yeah, we're human. But I just let her learn through experiences. When she comes to tell me something, I make her learn out of it. I don't want her to be always strong, but I want her to express her emotions in a right way, to know that she can grieve, because there is a big mistake where I saw the parents are doing with their kids is like, don't cry, you're strong. This is a big deal because you're creating a barrier between them and their emotions. You make them suppress their emotions, fold it and put it in the subconscious mind so it gets out in a default actions. It's the default actions. What's going to happen later is that they suppress something, didn't express it, and didn't go through it. The only way to something is going through it. This is what I believe. So I let her experience things. I let her know that kindness should be number one in her life. She should serve the community. She should pay back always. She should have this part of selfless action. It's very important to have big source of income. Money is beautiful and it's going to help you. Having a good partner, but having this little selfless to help and create a voice, a space and a voice for the voiceless is something that to gift yourself. You think you're gifting others by giving, but you're actually gifting yourself.
Wow, that's very good advice.
Because I want to tell you something, how to serve your body, to eat good, to go to the gym, how to serve your mind by knowledge and by challenging in terms of work, but how to serve your soul is by giving, is by doing the spiritual part that we all forget about it. And we feel tired and depleted and empty and dull is because we forgot this part. The soul needs food too. And the food of the soul is the spiritual, whatever your religion is, the spiritual things, you cannot exclude it, and giving others and living a life that is serving the powerless people,
That's amazing. And also, what they say, kids just follow examples. So I'm sure she's also watching everything that you're doing and learning from that. And you're a great example for her and for many of us as well.
Thank you.
But listen, we've talked about the career part. We've talked about your experiences. We've talked about you being a single mother. You know where I'm going. Now, tell me, I'm sure what everyone is curious about, you're a beautiful woman who's successful. What is your love life like?
My love life is I'm blessed by having nice relationships in terms of people who took care of me. By the way, I left Dubai, I left Egypt and came to Dubai after a huge heartbreak.
Oh.
A huge heartbreak. And I wasn't ready to talk about it, but now I'm so ready to talk about it.
Let's hear it.
And when I was in Egypt, and 4 years after I got a divorce, I was liking a man, and he used to like me back, and I saw us like a good match together. But this man had the idea of, I'm a man and you're a woman. You have to stay home, and I go party at night.
Oh.
And I said, yes.
I go party at night.
Yes, I go party at night and I do whatever I want and you stay home. And then one day I told him, like, tell me that we're together and I can do whatever you want. Honestly, I was back then. I was
you're
a
in
bit
love.
naive. I was in love. I'm gonna be very honest.
We own up to it.
I'm not gonna say anything from the books. I'm gonna say everything from my experience. So he was like, I'm not sure that I can be in a relationship at the moment. You know, this type of situationships. And I'm not that type of woman that will wait for you till you decide. And said, okay, khalas, you're single, I'm single. And ready to mingle. And I went out, lived my life, I saw my friends, and he was very jealous. Like, if you go out and do this and that, he was so, controlling back then. And I said, tell me again that we're together. And then he's like, no, I'm not going to tell you we're together. We're not together. And then I said, okay, khalas, we're going to stop being in contact. And we stopped being in contact. And I thought he's going to come back and he's going to make it up to me. Guess what happened? I opened the Instagram 4 months later and I saw his wedding photo.
No.
I swear, I've never been that hurt in my life. Because of the fact that I opened my heart to you and I was so ready to be the wife, the woman you want.
Yeah.
And then you go and get married just because you want to be stubborn enough, you want to prove that you're a man. I've never been that. Like, I saw my friends hiding the phones and I'm like, what's wrong? Why are you all hiding the phones from the morning? And I'm like, they're like, we're going to tell you something. They knew it.
Of
they
course,
knew
that's
it.
a shock.
It's gonna hurt me. I used to love him a lot. And then when I saw his wedding photos, I'm like, I cried so hard. And then I made a decision. You are living in Alexandria and you made it to the top. Now it's time to go to level up your work. Where to go? To Dubai. I got my daughter and I got my stuff in 1 week. I was here in Dubai. I was enrolling her in a school. I got a house and then we moved to Dubai. And the first 4 months we moved to Dubai, I got my nanny with me. She's like my best friend. I got her with me from Egypt to take care of my daughter till I trust someone because I was all alone and I had to work and do some paperwork. And then she would hear me crying at night loudly. And she would tell me, I think, because she is a simple woman, she would tell me, I think there is evil eye or there's something happening. Nobody knew what happened with me. I felt so bad for just being there alone. And I'm not comparing that he's having a marriage life.
Yeah.
He divorced her 5 months later anyway. And he came to me.
The twist and
the twist, the light. I'm like, why? So why? Anyhow, this is the fate. And it made me stronger more than you can ever imagine. Because what I lived in those moments, they made me who I am today. This is why I'm telling you, God is not giving you the discomfort to torture you. He's giving you a big gift only if you understand it, how to use it, how to use the pain and turn it into power, turn it in your favor. How to turn the pain in your favor is to take the pain. Don't refuse it. Just take it. And I grieved so hard and I cried so much. But now I'm so open into speaking about it. He divorced her and then he sent me. I'm like, we're good friends. You're an amazing man, but we can't be together anymore. I felt he's a great man. And I know if I got married to this person, I'm going to be one of the happiest people in in life, but the problem is I don't see you like I see you before.
Yeah.
I'm going to create problems out of nowhere because I have this in my back mind. It's stamped in my back mind. I cannot come back to you unless I guarantee the sweetest person you knew when we first met. But I can't guarantee that because in the back mind, I'm going to be skeptical. Where are you? What are you doing? So some things are not bad to end. They're just meant to end. And we have to cherish the good moments and we have to move on. Because some people, they are stuck. Like, for example, I know it's hard when, for example, their parents die. Some people grieve, but some people are being stuck in the past. Getting stuck in the past is going to make you go in spiral, in a spiral way that is non-ending, because it happened. It happened. What can we do now? It happened. So you can grieve as much as you can, but the day I stop crying, I never cry on this person again. It's like I finish everything at once. I can cry as much as I can for a year, full of tears.
Yeah.
But then when I stop, something happens inside me, like I'm just taking that, throwing it in the bin and carrying on with my life. So that's the first time I tell this story, by the way.
Oh my God. First of all, shock. Shock. You took us on like all the twists and turns of that story. But I loved what you say because a lot of times we pray for growth, we pray for change, but then we get discomfort and we're like, that's not what I asked for. But that's exactly what we asked for because a lot of times you need to let go of the previous life that you have in order to ascend to the bigger life that you want. And that's exactly what you did. You took a challenge and you made it work and it completely changed your life, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully now it's only up and up. But I love how you were so open about grieving. And I think that's one thing a lot of us struggle with, especially when we think that we brought this onto ourselves. This was my choice. I didn't choose properly. This man is not that great. And then you're like, I can't really now openly grieve about this situation.
Right.
And a lot of us grieve differently as well. So some people take a long time to go through it and then they're done with it. Some people pretend they're okay for a very long time. And then it hits
its toll on them later.
Right? And then it hits them.
I think back then, the key is to forgive and love yourself and be your own best friends in all the stages of your life. This is what I knew at that time and this is what I felt. I have to respect it. Like, for example, in the past, we used to do big mistakes or small mistakes, for example, but I'm not my mistake. Now I'm learning, I'm being a better person. I still love the young Logina, the teenager Logina, the baby Logina, Logina from 1 year. This is what she knew and this is how life, this is her lens through life. So you shouldn't, because some people, they are their own enemies, why did I do this mistake? Why did I let this person take advantage of me? They're stuck where they shouldn't be. You should love yourself and carry yourself with care all the stages of your life. Because we're always a growth and learning and we're all work in progress. At the end, we're all work in progress, You shouldn't judge yourself for this love or for this mistake. You should learn to take the present and turn the pain or the mistake into power by changing now. This is what you should do.
Absolutely. And, we tend to look at the younger version of us with no grace at all. But that they did what they knew best.
Yes.
We are judging them based on knowledge we have now.
Yeah.
So, as you said, just be graceful to your past selves. But now based on everything that has happened, all the life lessons you've had, how are you approaching finding a man, even if you are looking for a man? What are the new type of energy you're putting out there?
Actually, I want someone, we have something in our religion that's called mawadda and rahma. He has to be very merciful on me and I have to be merciful on them because you're never going to find the perfect match, but you just have to find the qualities that you want and then carry on with life. Life will be full of financial crises, mental and health problems. Who is going to go with you through that? This is what I'm always thinking, because nowadays, when you're beautiful, when you're famous, he's like fascinated by you. But when you're not glowing anymore, because in your house, when you're waking up with the rolls, you're not glowing. Who's gonna still look at me the same when I'm not famous, when I'm not beautiful anymore? You're always beautiful, but when you're not that young anymore, when your skin not the same anymore, who's gonna carry me through all the stages of my life? This is very important, because some girls of my friends, they say, "Oh, I feel insecure. He left me." You dated him for his money. He dated you for your body. Why are you surprised? He wants to get into the place or the restaurant with a beautiful girl that everyone turns head to look at, and you're taking him because you want this and that. But I don't want this in my life. I want pure feelings, and it's good to have a rich man. It's not a must to have a rich man. It's a must to have an ambitious man, because I had someone who wanted to marry me before, and he inherited big amount of money, but he's not working. I cannot do that.
No.
I cannot wake up and go and dress up and go to work, and he's just sleeping.
He's doing nothing.
No, I have to look up to my man, looking up by being ambitious. Because if he doesn't have now, he's going to have later.
Exactly.
But if somebody, if it's just for the money, so it's a very narrow-minded, you know. So I want someone to love me anyway, to have mercy on me anyway, to care about me anyway, not because who I am today, because it's not gonna last.
And how do you test for that?
I do lots of tests.
Yeah?
Lots of tests.
Give us one advice on how to test for it.
Like one time on a date, I told the man, like, I wanna stop doing social media. I think my place is in the house. I like to be a housewife, which back then I started feeling a bit overwhelming. The social media started to be feeling overwhelming, which is not bad. That's what I thought back then. And his aura started to change. Like, now I tell my friends I'm dating someone famous. You're not gonna be famous anymore.
Now you won't
and
be on
I'm
social
like,
media?
bye, have a good day. Thank you for the sushi. This energy, but you can see if somebody is proud of you only because what you achieved or not. Because maybe in the future life, I'm gonna have Alzheimer. Who's gonna be there with you? This is very important. This is what's going to make you feel safe. Having a partner that is not looking to who you are only, is looking inside you. He loves the person. He doesn't love what you created for yourself. It's good to have a successful woman and a strong woman, but he has to search for the kid inside, because I'm always that child who gets tired. Life gets overwhelming sometimes. This is what I'm looking for. Someone to love me for the deep, what I have inside, not just what I have now, what I created for myself.
Absolutely. You want someone to support what you're doing, but that's not the reason they like you. They like you for who you are.
Exactly.
I love that. And what's next now for Logina?
Now I'm working on my own brand, which I'm proudly, it's a brand that has a story and a purpose as well.
When can we watch out for that to come out?
September.
Okay, soon. Yeah,
I'm going to Lebanon
to
meet with the investors. And I'm so happy because I was looking for a long time. I have I'm going to be very honest with you. My work has life. I like to save more than I spend. I'm not a shop. I don't like to go shopping a lot. I don't have this habit. Thank God. Thank God.
Thank God.
And I never took a credit card since I stepped into this country, by the way. Never. I never got
you're not a spender then. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was looking for an investor because I couldn't put all my life saving in the project. And I looked for that investor for 2 years. Till I found them and they believed in my project. So hopefully it's going to come out in September. It's something beautiful. And I can't wait to tell you about it, the next podcast.
Part 2, you'll come in and tell us about it in September, inshallah. Amazing. And any parting message for the audience watching you today, all the young women who are looking up to you, thinking, how do I also, take life by the horns and take control and be confident?
I always say that, sentence or that quote, purpose has to be always over popularity. Because some people can go popular with a scandal, you know, some people can go popular with anything else. But how people will remember you, this is everything. This is very important. And another thing, because some girls, they get into a very toxic industries, they cannot take it and it takes over their mental health. I would tell them that everybody will love you and support you until you are hurting their personal ego or their inner ego by going higher. So if they support you or if they don't support you, don't get affected. Because when you're climbing a mountain, you will find one person standing down or you're not going to find anyone. But when you reach the top, everyone will be clapping. So keep going. Just keep going and keep believing that every good thing will come your way. Just keep going.
That's such a good advice. And honestly, I feel like I need that as well because sometimes you just see your biggest supporters turn against you and you never know why.
Yeah, I mean, they support you when you're just starting because you're so far from them. But when you get closer and now they start, you know, they start showing their claws.
You know, because when I used to think, but you were in the trenches with me, telling me that it will happen. So when it's happened, why are you not here with me celebrating?
Exactly.
So that's because you didn't want me to get there. You thought I wouldn't get there. But honestly,
sometimes your presence is hurting their own ego. They have to put their ego on the side to be able to celebrate you, you know.
But Logina, this has been amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. I feel like we didn't have enough time. So we'll definitely do a part 2 once you're ready to share your big news.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.